Hi, welcome back to the Cup Holder. So I've said in the past on live shows things regarding American jobs, keeping jobs here, bringing jobs back here, creating jobs here. I've talked about how manufacturing is the backbone of the American economy and that all other jobs rely on manufacturing. And there are lots of people out there who don't live in a community where there's manufacturing or where the factories closed down and moved away, or they're in the service industry or something like that, and they don't see manufacturing as relevant. They don't care if it's made in China, Mexico, or America. They just want what they want, and they want it fast and they want it cheap. And what they don't understand is those service jobs go away. Maybe not right away, but they go away without American manufacturing. The security of our nation goes away without American manufacturing. And I've had this debate with people, and I think they're just ignorant. Now, let me tell you, first off, that I grew up, the beginning of my childhood, I guess you say, or early adolescence, was in the South, where there was very little manufacturing. I moved into an industrial area, and this lifestyle up here was foreign to me. It was quite a while before I picked up on everything and got to understand it. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, but once I got to understand it, I got to understand it. Now, there's good and bad with everything. And I can tell you all the dirty, underhanded, backdoor secrets about manufacturing, but I can also tell you this, that working in it and being around it and living around people who rely on it and seeing how well we live here and how much we put back into the economy, not just here, but all across the country, I can tell you that manufacturing is the backbone of our country, of our tax base, of all the other jobs that are created because of it, even if there isn't a factory in 100 miles. And one way to look at it is, if you live in a small community where there used to be a factory and everybody worked there and they closed the factory down and everybody was out of work, that's proof right there how important manufacturing is. Typically, manufacturing has good pay and good benefits and chances for advancement. There are some manufacturing jobs that still offer pensions, which is much better than relying on Social Security or a 401k. And manufacturing is a good job for somebody while they're maybe trying to work towards getting a white collar job, a college degree kind of job. Or there are people that have entered manufacturing with a high school education, started on the floor, and worked themselves up to plant manager or higher without ever attending college. It is a place where there's a lot of opportunity. And the fact that it allows you to provide for your family is enough for me to say that it's a good job for anybody. It's not for everybody. There are some people that are more people-oriented. They do better in the restaurant or entertainment industry. There are some people that say, I can't stand in front of a machine for 8 hours a day with sore feet and do a repetitious job. It's just not me. I'm too, ADD or whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. That's it. I'm not saying everybody has to work at a factory. We need those service industry jobs. But America tried once to go to strictly service, and we failed. And we came back to manufacturing. So, if you want to argue with me over manufacturing not being important, or American jobs not being important, or buying American not being important, we'll argue all day long. I will not yield. But I will tell you this. Look at what has happened because of this global pandemic that came out of China. We have a lot of imports from China. We don't get everything from China. People need to start reading the labels on the backs of things that they buy. There are plenty of things made in America, or they're made in Mexico or Canada, which I don't have a problem with. We have NAFTA, and I didn't think it would work out, but it kind of sort of has, and I'd rather rely on Canada and Mexico for our imports than really some of these other countries. And don't get me wrong, I do buy some foreign stuff. You guys know I drink Mexican beer, and I buy Czechoslovakian ammunition and reload supplies. And sometimes there is no alternative. I would love to be able to buy an American-made motherboard, but nobody makes one yet. But maybe one day we will. But when we have countries like China that is having this major work slowdown, interrupting our manufacturing ability or our day-to-day life because the shipments aren't coming in because their factories are closed, maybe that's a wake-up call that maybe we need to make more of this stuff in America. At least have an American company making some of these products as a backup. We can ramp up American production a lot easier than we can rely on another country to do, to take care of us, of our needs, our demands as a consumer. And in the process, we can create jobs. There are already people losing their jobs over this, and I think it's going to get worse and worse and worse. One of the ways we can bring jobs back to America, or people who are losing their service industry jobs at least have a way to get back into the workforce, is to maybe reinvigorate the American manufacturing, workforce by opening up factories that make antibiotics or other things like that, computer parts or whatever, and finding a way for our government to stimulate that to bring jobs back. Yes, you can go back to your service industry job at a later point. Somebody will want that manufacturing job because it will be good paying and provide good benefits. Or you may say, I never made this much money in my service industry job. I think I'm going to stay here and work my way up or try to get a pension or whatever there is. But I think if anything, if you don't want to believe me about American jobs, American manufacturing being the base of this country's tax revenue, about the base of this country having service industry jobs, about the base of this country's national defense capability, then believe this. When they're sick overseas and the ships stop coming, where are we going to go to for the things that we need every day? We're lucky that most of the food and cleaning products and things like that are made here in America. We are really lucky in that sense. But what does happen when the medicine gets cut off? Or when the electronics aren't coming in anymore? Or we can't finish a product that is 90% made in America because 10% of the products come from China that are in the final assembly. So we need to analyze this, and maybe we could use this to our advantage to help reinvigorate our economy when this is over, because our economy is going to be hurting. It will come back, and I think it's going to come back stronger than ever. And I think it's going to come back faster than it normally would too. But this could be a way to accelerate that. That's just an idea I have. And if you haven't believed any of my arguments in the past about why American manufacturing is so important, maybe now you'll look at this and go, okay, fine. That's finally a legitimate reason for me to say, yes, American manufacturing jobs are very important to America. America first, people. America first.